We, Melissa Rice and Carrie Higgins, have chosen to learn more about the intrinsic motivation theory. In this paper, we will share what we have learned about the intrinsic motivation theory and how it can help us as teachers. This theory focuses on mastery motivation, perceived control, self-determination theory, emergent motivation and flow, and rewards and intrinsic motivation. We have chosen to do further research on self-determination theory and rewards and intrinsic motivation. We feel that as teachers, we can use the information we learn to help our students be more successful. Throughout our paper, we will refer to a few other resources as well as our course resource text on the intrinsic motivation theory.
Chapter 7, Intrinsic Motivation. Self-determination theory. According to Chapter 7, individuals would not be content if all their needs were automatically satisfied without them having choices and deciding how to attain those choices. Even though some people do not like to make decisions, it is still something that people have to do on a daily basis. People have to make choices and figure out how they are going to make the choice. This is what motivational theorists call self-determination theory, or SDT. Deci and Ryan discussed in their article that self-determination theory, SDT, is an empirically derived theory of human motivation and personality in social contexts that differentiates motivation in terms of being autonomous and controlled. This means that people have the authority to make their own decisions and what motivates them to make those choices. It is all about what choices a person makes for themselves and what they need to satisfy their needs. According to the text, self-determination requires that people accept their strengths and limitations, be cognizant of forces acting on them, making choices, and determine ways to satisfy needs.
Another idea that was mentioned in Chapter 7 was about rewards and intrinsic motivation. According to our chapter, intrinsic motivation refers to motivation to engage in an activity for its own sake. People who are intrinsically motivated work on tasks because they find them enjoyable. Task participation is its own reward and does not depend on explicit rewards or other external constraints. In contrast, extrinsic motivation is motivation to engage in an activity as a means to an end. Individuals who are extrinsically motivated work on tasks because they believe that participation will result in desired outcomes such as a reward, teacher praise, or avoiding punishment. Basically, intrinsic motivation is the motivation that is within a person, while extrinsic motivation is the motivation that is brought on by something or someone else. This is where rewards come into play. Cameron and Pierce state they are not harmful to human nature. If anything, rewards are a natural part of human nature. What is important is to ensure that reward systems promote rather than restrict human freedom.
How can we relate? We discovered that the intrinsic motivation theory relates to our way of teaching, our school, and our students. We both teach kindergarten at the same school and are constantly teaching our students how to use the self-determination theory to motivate them in independent learning in the classroom. Since we are in kindergarten, this is something that we have to thoroughly teach to our students. The self-determination theory is something that students will have to use throughout their school careers, and we want them to be successful in it. However, when it comes to rewards, students should have a choice. Some children do not like certain rewards, such as stickers. In our classroom, we give students several options to choose from when it comes to rewards, such as a stamp on their hand, a piece of candy, a sticker that can be placed on their shirt, hand, or in their agenda.
Classroom example. We have experienced this theory in our classrooms numerous times. One time in particular that comes to mind is our literacy workstations. These workstations are completed independently and rely heavily on students' ability to use the self-determination theory. At the beginning of the school year, we have to instruct students on how to successfully work independently and complete their assignments. According to research, this independent time increases students' intrinsic motivation. Cameron, Pierce, Banco, and Gear state intrinsic motivation was measured as time spent on the experimental task and ratings of task interest during a free choice period. A major finding was that achievement-based rewards during learning and testing increased participants' intrinsic motivation.
Possibility for change. Learning more about this theory was very beneficial because we have learned a great deal about this theory and how it can help us as teachers. It has also given us ideas to try in the classroom to strengthen our students' motivational skills. One idea we discovered was the need for the administration to realize how important this theory can be for our students and teachers. According to Nemec and Ryan, first, the more the teacher's satisfaction of autonomy is undermined, the less enthusiasm and creative energy they can bring to their teaching endeavors. Second, the pressures toward specified outcomes found today in so many educational settings promotes teachers' reliance on extrinsically focused strategies that crowd out more effective, interesting, and inspiring teaching practices that would otherwise be implemented. We want to work hard and show our administrators how impactful and useful this theory can be for our students and our teachers throughout this upcoming school year.